Okay. Do we have two? We're Michael Sinde. I mean, texting me. You can sign on. Okay, I texted Michael Cindy that we were running late, so that's why the zoning board wasn't ready. Hopefully he'll sign in. Besides Jeffrey Atwell, Kimberly Byrne, is there any other person here from the ZBA?
Not that I see, Howard.
Okay. We'll wait for Mr. Cindy.
Was Cliff effective immediately?
Yes.
Really?
Clifford Griffins submitted his resignation last week. I asked him to at least stay on for tonight's meeting because we always have trouble getting people to participate. But the mayor accepted his resignation, so technically he's no longer with the board. The mayor has appointed a new chairperson, Kimberly Byrne, who's sitting here on the acting or interim until the remainder of the year, until we get more members. We have a deficit of members here in this board. If we could get Michael Cindy, then we will invoke the majority of a quorum. Usually regular quorum would be 4 out of 7. The majority quorum under the Open Meetings Act will allow us to have a quorum with 3 people. So we need just one more to have this meeting. I personally spoke with Eric Frausto. He had to work tonight. He's going to try and make it on. Joseph Martin, he was another one. He had something that came up and he was going to try and make it on. Vonda Hardy said she could not be available for tonight. I spoke with her. And Michael Cindy is the only one who is going to be on. He texted me. Let me see.
All that other stuff.
Howard, Mike Cindy
But
is
it was
here.
a nice program when we had it. We actually got rid of a lot of them.
Can you hear me?
Just, I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Everybody's quiet.
Drowsy.
Hey guys. Hey Howard, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thanks.
Kimberly's going to call in. We have an echo effect. Kimberly Byrne is also at the East Annex building, so there's 2 of us physically at the building. So she's going to turn off her computer, but she's going to have her phone on, so we won't get a reverberation.
remember those days.
Can anybody hear me now?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, do you, okay, for everyone tonight, we're running a little late because the planning commission went a little bit over their time limit. But they did vote for this to continue to the zoning board of appeals. Just to do some housekeeping with Michael Sinde here.
Look how messy her hair is when she woke up. That's like you in the morning when you have your messy hair.
Clifford Griffin has resigned. He tendered his resignation letter last week. I asked him to at least participate for another meeting because this was an important one. However, the mayor already accepted his resignation, so he's technically no longer with the zoning board of appeals. The zoning board of appeals new chairperson is Kimberly Byrne, who was appointed earlier today for the remainder of the year. We're in the process of getting new members because not like you see tonight, we don't have enough members for a regular meeting, so this is something that's going to be improved upon. So this is the reason why there's only 3 of us. Just for the record, this is going to be a majority of a quorum. Regular 7 board group, 4 is a quorum, but 3 is a majority of a quorum. So we do have a quorum. We could continue with only 3 people. So again, majority of a quorum is being used for 3 instead of 4 for tonight. Kimberly will do the roll call and then I'll go into public comments because I have some documents to read into the record, and then I could continue to go over the vote findings or the vote that was taken on the special use and text amendment. Okay, Kimberly?
Can anybody hear me?
Before we begin, Howard, so there's only 3 members here,
Yes.
and you said this majority quorum.
Majority of a quorum is the technical term to use when we have a situation where we don't have a regular quorum.
So this meeting,
Valid.
it is valid.
Yes, it will hold.
I-
If we didn't have a quorum, we wouldn't be having this meeting. We would be terminating it. So just to go over it again,
And before we begin here, does the chair, doesn't the committee appoint the chair or
no,
is that a mayor appointment?
that's appointed by the mayor and endorsed by the city council.
And was that done last night or Tuesday night at city council or?
No, because everything has transpired so quickly. The mayor has appointed her for tonight for sure, and for the remainder of the year, and he's going to bring this to the city council in the next meeting.
I don't feel comfortable having a meeting if it hasn't gone to city council. I just want to follow the process. If the process is he appointed, that's perfectly fine. And it has to be approved by the city council. If it hasn't been approved by the city council yet, I don't feel comfortable having a meeting. If that's the process, that's perfectly fine. I'm fine with the process. I just want to go through the process. And if we're not, it seems like we're jumping the gun here a little bit to rush at this. Jeff, I don't know. You've been a part of this longer than I have. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I understand that COVID presents some certain difficulties that we don't normally endure. That is in my mind, not a.
Nothing to do with the agenda or anything like that. I just want to make sure we follow the process for, the
Right.
proper protocols and so on. I think it's unfair actually to the applicants right now. I think it's unfair to the applicants that they don't have the process being followed.
I guess I have a follow-up question. Does a majority of the attendees right now consist of two members vote to allow or not to allow? That then carries? And it's still only a recommendation to city council, who ultimately has the final say on any case. In this particular case, Howard's made a recommendation. It's gone in front of City Plan Commission, and now it's in front of those of us who are currently available. So I feel that we're but a step, and ultimately the final say is with City Council. So I'm okay with what Howard's presenting. It's not ideal, but I also feel as though not much of what any of us are enduring right now is ideal. So it would be my hope to try to at least hear the applicant and then vote our conscience and put that forward to City Council.
I understand we're a step in the process. I just want to make sure if, City Council doesn't approve, the chair, or can we get other members involved? There are other members on the board that aren't part of the meeting right now. I think it's unfair to the applicant right now. And Howard, correct me if I'm doing something wrong here. I just don't think it's fair to the applicant to have such a poor turnout and poor representation from our city.
If I may, I would also kind of add that it might be unfair to continue to put it off to the applicant as well.
Yeah, if when is the next City Council meeting? 2 weeks, right? So realistically, we're not putting it off for 6 months. The City Council meets in 2 weeks, actually less than 2 weeks.
I'm assuming we're having a meeting anyways, because Plan Commission did recommend for the allowance. Is that accurate, Howard? I think you're muted, bud. Howard?
Yes, I have the official letter here, the appointment by the mayor, which was signed by the mayor earlier today, signed by Kimberly earlier tonight. I'll read it for the record, so we have this if something comes up. Dear Ms. Kimberly Byrne, I am temporarily assigning you to perform the duties and responsibilities of the City of Blue Island Chairperson for the Zoning Board of Appeals effectively immediately. This assignment was made pursuant by the City of Blue Island Municipal Code and will remain in effect until the end of the year, 12/31/2020. Thank you for your cooperation, your efforts, and dedication, commitment during this unsettling time. It's been copied to the city clerk and the city attorney, this letter. So it wasn't done in a vacuum. It's copied by the clerk.
Oh, I understand, Howard, but you said it had to go to City Council to be approved, correct?
The mayor appoints it, and then it has to be approved by the City Council.
I think it's just unfair that we only have 3 people to hear this applicant.
If I may, this is Linda Goldberg, and I am attorney for the applicant, and obviously not attorney for the city. Former attorney for the city of Chicago, and admittedly don't know your procedures, but just throw this out for consideration, and that is that in most municipalities, City Council can ratify actions that were taken, and so I'm just wondering if that's a possibility if we go forward, understanding that we're taking the risk that it may be that we need to do this again, but if there's an option for us to go forward under these circumstances and have it ratified, I would request to proceed.
Yeah, I think it's just unfair to the applicant to have three people, one person appointed to chair this afternoon. And, now we have a typical quorum not being met. We have three people. If we had a normal meeting with three people, that would not constitute a quorum and not have a meeting.
So the official, now I'm reading verbatim from the zoning code, creation and membership. There is hereby established by the zoning board of appeals, the members of the zoning board of appeals shall be appointed by the mayor with consent of the city council. The said board shall consist of 7 people to serve respectively for the following terms, right? One of the members so appointed shall be named as the chairman at the time of the appointment. The board shall elect from its member an acting chairman to act whenever the chairman is absent. So do you want to elect an acting chairperson for tonight?
I don't think that the chairperson matters. If the mayor appoints, Ms. Byrne, that's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. But if the process is it goes to city council approves it,
All right.
and then, I feel like we're jumping the gun here and not giving city council their full authority.
Okay. So in regards to this, this happened earlier this week. I guess we're going to have to adjourn this meeting. We never started it. We'll just adjourn for the evening, and we'll have it for a schedule. The problem is that the city council met last night, so they're not meeting in 2 weeks. So,
I think it's just unfair to the applicant, to not have it.
well, it's going to be unfair for the applicant that it's going to be delayed substantially because of this action. But I'm fine with it. It's unfortunate for the applicant, how everything materialized.
Howard, if I may interject, at the end of the day, the city council has to make the final, right?
Correct.
For all of
But
these decisions. So I'm thinking if we move forward, if it's something that they don't, okay, go ahead. I see you shaking your head.
the problem is we don't have a zoning board member that feels comfortable that we're not following the procedure. So most likely he will not vote in any favor of anything. And it's just going to be one of those situations where we're just going to be talking for nothing. So the
And we only have three
zoning,
people.
the city council is going to meet on the 8th. We meet technically next Thursday, so it's going to be invalidated because we can't do anything until zoning board, until city council. Which is unfortunate. So we might have to schedule a special hearing for this zoning board of appeals. Interesting situation. That means I'm gonna have to advertise in the newspaper since this isn't an official meeting. 15 days into the future, we're gonna have to go through the whole process all over again.
Oh, boy.
Yes. All right. Does anyone else have anything else to say at this point?
Michael,
Sorry for the applicant.
would you consider, would you reconsider?
I'm sorry for the applicant. I don't feel like we're following the process. I just found out right now that our chair resigned and we only have 3 people. Normally a meeting with 3 people wouldn't constitute a quorum and we wouldn't have a meeting. So I think it's unfair for you to have, the city not represented. It's unfair for citizens of Blue Island to only have 3 people on the zoning board.
The reality is this: when I scheduled this meeting, everybody was in agreement and participating. Hence the reason why we met today on Wednesday,
Sure.
this Thursday. Even with the chairman resigning so abruptly because of natural causes, emergency, he was still trying to participate. But when the mayor accepted his resignation, technically by law, he's no longer part of the group. I found out on Monday. Tuesday, I conversed with the mayor's assistant about this dilemma, and I said that we need to get this done as quickly as possible for today's meeting. It wasn't done until today. It's unfortunately out of my hands. I don't have jurisdiction over the city council in this situation. So by doing this, it's going to complicate because there's going to be nothing for next week because we don't have any new application, and I guess this is gonna go towards a regular scheduled zoning board meeting.
So who pays for the newspaper again?
Well, the city has paid for it the first time, and we will pay for it again. It's a city expense. It's part of the application process or fees that you paid into. So I'm looking at now October 1st as the first meeting, regular scheduled zoning board meeting. That will give us time for the city council.
Howard, you said the other members of the zoning board said they would be here, and they're not?
Both Eric Frausto and Joseph Martin ran into emergencies with their jobs, and they have to
Sure.
stay longer. Since this wasn't a regularly scheduled meeting, it's natural that if they can't participate, they can't participate.
When was the last time Vonda Harding actually attended a meeting?
I spoke with Vonda Harding. This has been noted, her absence. This has been communicated to the mayor's office earlier today. I don't want to go into a public session about her absence. Just say it's been noted, and the mayor's office is reviewing other options for new members. All right.
Howard, is it possible to convene, to say that you've convened a meeting, which I understand that there is potentially, again, a quorum here. And I guess I'd say it's not just you, but to the committee members as well. Kind of thinking that if you agree to meet but decide not to vote, pending a determination of proceedings, could that possibly constitute a meeting and continuation so that you don't have to publish again?
Well, the problem is that we don't have an official meeting, because if the argument is that the person who's been appointed as the chair isn't truly appointed officially, then we can't even continue having this discussion
Right.
or
No, I
even entertaining
understand that,
anything.
I think that's not my main concern, Howard. My main concern is there's 3 people here.
I know, it's
which
unfortunate, but
typically
it's,
wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's not your fault.
it's the
I mean, we're doing
reality.
the best. Yeah,
We're
it's
in a
reality. We're
pandemic.
trying our best.
We're in a pandemic. I've called personally. I spent the whole afternoon calling people for both the planning and zoning. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that we only had 3, and I kept calling, and they promised me that they're going to make every effort to participate. But even if we have an extra member, you know, this whole thing, if Kimberly Byrne is not the official appointed person, then we can't have this meeting at all.
Sure.
It's a mute issue.
Well, may I just real quick ask a question? I see that public comment was due by email to you by 5 p.m. today. Did you receive any public comment?
I did receive a public comment by telephone. That party is here.
Is that Alex Leifman?
No.
Oh, okay.
PTSIR and
Okay.
probably Ron.
Yes, that is us.
But I don't feel comfortable in even continuing with this. We need to terminate. I will reach out to the applicant to determine a special day, if preferably, so we don't lose too much time. But we will have to have this heard by or approved or endorsed by the city council before we can even schedule a meeting. So the next city council is September 8th. If they approve Ms. Byrne, then I feel comfortable in scheduling a meeting in the foreseeable future instead of waiting until October.
Sure. And then,
It sounds fine.
most importantly, we need to find someone from the city to step up and participate in the meetings and a zoning board, whether
Unfortunately,
it's Vonda, Eric, I understand people's work conditions.
unfortunately, we don't have people available. So this is something we're going to have to carry for a while until we get more people.
Well, I would like to formally apologize to the applicant for our inability to hear this tonight. I find it very unfortunate, and I hope it does not give you a negative impression of the city of Blue Island.
I do as well. I want to apologize. I think it's an unfortunate situation. I just want to follow our procedures and make sure it's fair to the applicant. Right now, I don't think it's fair to the applicant to not follow the protocol for the chair. And more importantly, we have 3 people here.
Right, but the state does allow us to have this special part. It's what I call it
Oh,
here.
majority of a quorum.
Majority of a quorum. The state does give us that allowance, so technically we could have it with 3 people. The question is here, the legality of the appointed chairperson, which it's a valid argument.
Yeah.
I think that.
So-
and you have by chance a city attorney that you can call like quickly and just.
I understand, but I have 2 young children. I made a special arrangements tonight to have this meeting. It's here at 7:30. The other meeting ran a little bit long, so I stayed online for this, and I can't continue to take time away from my family to something I don't feel comfortable with.
Okay.
I just ran a quick search, Mike, for majority of a quorum Illinois, and it's posted as part of the Illinois General Assembly Open Meetings Act. And it goes on to explain that for a 9-member body, a quorum is 5. A majority of those 5 then is 3. So for us, where it's a 7-member body, then 4 is a quorum. Is that correct, Howard? And then a majority of that would be 3.
Yes.
So that's one of the issues. The other issue, not going through the protocols for the chair. So I just want to make sure we follow everything. And I guess that's, my concern. So Howard, if there's, please let me know when the next scheduled meeting is, and I'll be glad to participate and make arrangements so I can. I apologize to the applicants. I think it's unfair to you that as a city, we don't have this together for you tonight. I apologize from, personally, but also for the city.
Randy, did you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to point out that if we continue the same meeting, I believe, and we should get legal clarity on this. I know in a regular meeting, if you adjourn the meeting and continue on the next day or whatever with the same agenda, as long as you don't change the agenda, you can continue. So I believe, Howard, we'll have to check with legal counsel on this, but I believe that this is a continuation of this exact meeting does not need to be republished in the newspaper, I believe. We'll double check on that so that we're not going through the process for too long.
I think you're right that it doesn't need to be reposted to the newspaper, but it's not actually even been called to order. So I don't even think you need to request a continuation. It's just not able to be heard right now.
The spirit behind that.
Right. What Randy is saying is if we have a quorum and we open the meeting, then being televised, we could give a prospective date into the future, so we don't have to do the 15 days notice.
Right.
But
so my point is, it was posted properly, and the people that came here are aware that it was a meeting that was to be held. I believe, and again, we'll have to check with the city attorney, but I believe that you can do it whenever you like.
Yeah.
Double check.
Do we have to give 48 hours notice?
Of course.
You should.
Right, the 48-hour notice, but the problem is that we don't have a chairperson.
Well, we'll have to see how we can get that going too, Howard.
So I don't feel comfortable as the liaison to propose any meeting until.
Right. It would probably be, not quite a couple weeks. If we could get someone appointed on September 8th city council meeting.
Right.
And if we know that we have someone, we could schedule it as early as September 9th.
And let me add this, I would think as a practical matter, the person that is on the call, or the citizen, should you should be sure to notify them to make sure that
Right,
they.
of course, I'll notify them.
The community development meeting is September 9th.
I have a question. Is there a way to call a special meeting, Randy, to?
Well, there is. It's just that's not my call at all. That would be the mayor or
it's on a special city council meeting or a special meeting of zoning board?
Special city council meeting would be the mayor or 3 aldermen.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's Ophelia, we have a couple options here. Howard will talk with the mayor and we'll see what we can possibly do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
How do we move forward here? Should we conclude?
Yes, this isn't a technical real meeting.
And you can, it's because it's not a city council meeting, you still can discuss and meet, but you can't make a decision tonight, correct?
Right.
I'm in favor of discussing.
The concern that I have is Michael Sinde. He wants at least more people to be participating instead of having just 3. So how does Michael Sinde feel about this? If we continue just to hear, we can't do
So we continue to hear, but then we find someone else, say Eric comes back, then you have to catch him all up and
Right.
so on. I just don't feel that's fair to him or fair to everyone. I think it's just,
he's going to
we're
have
spinning our wheels here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Eric for example, Eric Frausto as an example, he would either follow the video replay of this Zoom conversation or read the minutes. So then he can continue with the process and vote on it in the future. So I feel it's best to end it. There's no reason to have a discussion if we don't even have more people, and I think it's just better just to have it on another day and have an official ZBA chairperson.
And I move to close the meeting.
All right. I will communicate with the applicant and with the mayor's office and legal counsel on how we can proceed this forward. Situation is if we need to re-advertise, it needs to be 15 days. I'll try and coordinate with the zoning board if they can meet towards the ending of September versus waiting until October. I'll do my best. If not, we'll have it on a regular schedule zoning board evening, which is October 1st, the first Thursday of the month. Worst case scenario, that would be the official zoning board meeting to have this. If I can't have it scheduled earlier in the week in late September.
According to Randy and also the attorney, you may not have to post again. If this is a continuation, if they open the meeting and close it,
That's the
We didn't open a
clarification
meeting.
that needs
That's
to
what
be.
he wants to be clear about.
Yeah, but we haven't opened a meeting because we don't have a real chairperson. That's the problem.
A real chairperson or an official quorum.
Right.
To add something which will hopefully help the next meeting, and that is, again, Howard, as I said the last meeting, you did, I was just so impressed with the comprehensiveness of your staff report, and that Ophelia and Alex and I and you were all able to work together, not only with respect to this report, but kind of thinking how it fits in with the overall city scheme. I know that you committee members probably looked at the staff report, but just to I guess, reiterate that it's something that is very well done. I think could perhaps answer some questions that you might have going forward if you have not had a chance to go through that in detail. I would encourage that for hopefully both lively but expeditious meeting when we can do. And thank you, all of you, those of you who came tonight. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Linda. So is the city gonna pay for Linda for all this time that we've sitting here?
We're volunteers, so I don't know if she's volunteering for you or not.
No, no.
She'll have to next time.
No,
Okay.
Yes. All right, let's finish. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. Okay.